Okay, so what is transmedia storytelling and how is it related or how is it studied in an East Asian context and how is it actually related to anime and my research proposal for MMS 200? So we will be discovering that in this presentation for today. All right. Good day, guys. My name is Dan, and this presentation analyzes the research study titled Transmedia Storytelling in the Age of Digital Media, East Asian Perspectives. So, Southeast Asia is the audience of the research. East Asian Perspectives by a guy called Dal Yong Jin and examines how its insights, that study, can contribute to my proposed research that actually asks this question: how 1990s anime as a multimedia form influenced the development of resilience, courage, and responsibility among Filipino millennials, which is I also am. I am a Filipino millennial. Anime during the 1990s was not just entertainment for us. It was a recurring, immersive experience that shaped how many of us understood struggle, growth, and perseverance. This study explores the rise of transmedia storytelling in East Asia, particularly through anime, manga, and webtoons. Transmedia storytelling refers to a single narrative story being told across multiple platforms, where each platform contributes new elements to the story. Rather than simply adapting a story, transmedia expands it into a larger story world that audiences can engage with across formats such as television, comics, film, and digital media. Now, this study highlights that digital technologies and media convergence have accelerated this storytelling form. Audiences also engage more deeply because stories extend into their everyday lives, and anime, manga, and webtoons serve as key foundations for these transmedia ecosystems. Overall, this study positions transmedia storytelling as a major driver of engagement in modern media. One of the strengths of that study is its clear explanation of how media convergence allows stories to expand across platforms, creating deeper audience immersion. It also provides strong cultural context by focusing on East Asia where we are, where anime and manga play a central role in shaping media industries. However, the study has limitations. While it effectively explains how transmedia storytelling works, it does not explore the psychological impact on audiences, or how specific media techniques influence values and identity formation. Because of this, the study focuses more on media systems and production rather than audience level emotional or developmental outcomes. This is where the study becomes highly relevant to my research. My study examines how anime influenced Filipino millennials, not just through its stories, but through its multimedia design and storytelling structures. The concept of multimedia storytelling helps explain why anime had such a strong and lasting impact. Because anime narratives were experienced repeatedly, extended across different formats, and embedded in everyday media consumption, they created a level of immersion that made their themes more impactful. Building on this, research focuses on how meaning is delivered within that immersive experience, specifically visual composition and cinematography skills guide emotional attention. We learned that from our courses. And we also learned that music and sound design reinforce tension, struggle, and strength, and triumph as well. Storytelling structures such as training arcs, character development, growth, and sacrifice communicate values like perseverance and responsibility. Now, these elements work work together to create strong emotional engagement. Drawing from affective theory, particularly the idea of emotional resonance, these repeated and emotionally charged experience can contribute to how individuals internalize values over time. In this way, transmedia storytelling explains the depth of exposure, while my research explains the mechanisms of influence. The study leaves a gap in understanding how transmedia storytelling affects specific audiences on a psychological and cultural level. Now, my research addresses this gap by focusing on Filipino millennials, their lived experiences growing up with anime, and how those experiences continue to shape their responses to hardship in adulthood. It also contributes to multimedia studies by showing how audiovisual design and narrative structure can create long-term emotional and cultural impact. In conclusion, the selected study provides a strong theoretical foundation for understanding how anime functions as part of a larger transmedia system. By applying this framework to a localized and psychological context, the research aims to show how anime became more than just entertainment, but a meaningful influence on values such as resilience, courage, and responsibility among Filipino millennials. Now, thank you for watching. I hope that you've learned something from my video and I've presented my ideas clearly. I'm open for feedback, but again, thank you so much for taking your time to watch this video. Till next time, goodbye!